This video is brought to you by Skillshare. Today, the West's support for Ukraine appears to be waning. Delhi jails journalists and the UN has deployed forces to Haiti. From TLDR News, this is your daily briefing for Tuesday, the 3rd of October 2023. The war in Ukraine has been ongoing now for more than 500 days. So far, there's been a surprising amount of unity in support for the embattled nation, with countries from Poland to the US giving Ukraine huge amounts of supplies. However, recently this support has looked as though it's starting to wane. Over in the US on Saturday, Republicans derailed plans to provide Kyiv with more aid for Ukraine. This was despite a visit only 9 days earlier from Zelensky, where he, yet again, asked for more support. Some American commentators actually mocked this, including Twitter owner Elon Musk. He tweeted a meme mocking Zelensky for asking for more aid. However, it's not just the US that has seen some backlash recently towards aid payments to Ukraine. In Slovakia, Robert Fico is on course to return as Prime Minister, someone who holds pro-Russian views and who committed to not sending a single round of ammunition to Ukraine. Similarly, on the 20th of September, Poland, a country that was one of Ukraine's closest allies, also announced that they would no longer send any weapons. Now, it's worth noting that many European countries are still providing support to Ukraine, and for his part, the US President Joe Biden has said he will continue to stand by Ukraine. However, for one of the first times since the war began, there are signs that some parties are growing tired of providing support. Many of the supportive parties, though, have made efforts to try and downplay these concerns. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba said that Ukraine is working with both sides of the US Congress to ensure that it doesn't repeat it again under any circumstances. Josep Borrell, the EU's top diplomat, said that he was sure that the US's decision to block funding would be reconsidered. Meanwhile, the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, said that the president has built a coalition of more than 50 countries to provide aid to support Ukraine. There is a very strong international coalition behind Ukraine, and if Putin thinks he can outlast us, he's wrong. So we'll soon see whether both the US and the EU are able to maintain their support for Ukraine despite internal opposition. There's more on the way, but be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to make the daily briefing part of your daily routine, or just search for us on your podcast app to listen along. Over in India today, the police have raided the homes of a number of prominent journalists and authors in New Delhi. As part of this raid, the police have seized mobile phones and laptops of those they raided. This follows an investigation of funding for news website NewsClick. Among those that have been raided are the editor of the site and satirist Sanjay Rajura. Rajura worked on satirical videos for NewsClick in the past and has been a vocal critic of the government. The investigation was started due to a claim that NewsClick got illegal funds from China, something the website denies. Those that oppose the investigation claim that it's simply a sign of yet another attack from the Indian authorities against press freedom. Since Narendra Modi came to power in 2014, a range of news websites have been investigated by the government for alleged financial misconduct. The police have not yet actually commented on this particular investigation. A New Delhi police spokesperson said that they will share details when she gets them. The UN Security Council has authorised the deployment of a multinational security force to Haiti to help the Caribbean nation tackle surging gang violence and restore unity. The intervention has repeatedly been requested by Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry, following months of chaos and steadily worsening conditions, with more than 3,000 homicides and 1,500 kidnappings reported this year alone. Gangs control much of the capital, prompting some 200,000 people to flee their homes amid the killings, kidnappings, and sexual violence. The Security Council greenlit the mission with 13 votes in favour and abstentions from Russia and China. Haiti's foreign minister said, more than just a simple vote, this is in fact an expression of solidarity with a population in distress. Despite being authorised by the UN Security Council, the force won't actually be under UN control. The multinational force will likely be led by Kenya, which has pledged 1,000 police officers to head the year-long mission, while support has also been offered by some of Haiti's Caribbean neighbours, including Jamaica, the Bahamas and Antigua and Barbuda. A previous UN peacekeeping mission in Haiti from 2004 to 2017 was marred by a deadly cholera outbreak and a sexual abuse scandal. As such, the Security Council has called for an oversight mechanism to be established for the new mission, to ensure the highest standards of transparency, conduct and discipline. Over in the US, the Republican congressman from Florida, Matt Gaetz, has started proceedings to try and oust the House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy. This now sets in motion a series of events that will unfold over the next 48 hours that could well result in the end of Speaker McCarthy's political career. The House will vote on a resolution in the coming days declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant. This is only the third time that such a motion has ever been filed in US history. This comes following the dramatic last-minute version of a government shutdown yesterday, where Kevin McCarthy came close to a deal with Democrats. Clearly, Gaetz is unhappy with McCarthy's leadership in recent days, and there is a very real possibility that Gaetz could win the vote. The Republicans have only a slim majority in the House, and therefore only a small number of Republican rebels need to align themselves with Gaetz for the vote to be successful. We'll update you on this story in the next few days when we know whether it's been successful. In the final uplifting story today, we discuss the Nobel Prize. Yesterday, two of the scientists that developed the technology that led to the mRNA COVID vaccines, Professors Caitlin Carrico and Drew Weissman, have jointly been given the award. The committee that made the decision to give them the prize said the laureates contributed to the unprecedented rate of vaccine development during one of the greatest threats to human health in modern times. Things are expected to change with a story like this, so make sure you stay on top of updates. That way you know what's going on, and let's be honest, it always feels great to stay on top of things. Even within TLDR, a few of us have been brushing up our InDesign skills in order to create the newspaper we're currently working on. It turns out that making a professional-looking newspaper is pretty difficult, so we headed to Skillshare to take their course on the topic. Unlike when I tried to learn InDesign for another never-released project a few years ago, this time I was guided through the process quickly and effectively, and this time the project will actually see the light of day thanks to Skillshare's incredibly easy-to-follow guides. It's not just that either. You likely already knew Skillshare for classes on things like photography, editing and illustration, but Skillshare also has hundreds of career-focused classes too. We all know at this stage that traditional jobs aren't one size fits all. I mean, I finished university and came straight into a job at a YouTube channel. That's not necessarily the path that you want to take, but the courses on Skillshare can help you design a career to fit you. There's courses on everything from how to start a business to maximising your workflow or how to grow in e-commerce. Another course that Jack's actually taking to help with the newspaper project. And if you use our link, you can get access to all of that for free. That's right, the first 1,000 people to use the link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare.